What if the engine of cosmic evolution is not space getting bigger, but the medium itself slowly relaxing like a stretched fabric finally letting go? In the energy filament theory, the universe is an energy sea. And the main thing that keeps changing is the sea state, not an abstract geometric ruler. On large scales you track slow physical variables like average tension, how fast energy exchanges, and how much of the sea has been locked into stable structures. Phase 1 is boiling, the early sea is extremely tight. Short-lived filament knots pop in and out everywhere, and radiation and matter exchange constantly. Strong mixing works like a cosmic blender. It grinds distributions towards statistical antiquators and leaves behind a broadly uniform floor. Not because symmetry was assumed, but because turbulence erases large differences. Phase 2 is cooling. As the violent churning weakens, the cheapest stable patterns begin to persist. Closed loops form and survive, ring-like particles stabilize. And once those rings can interlock, atoms and higher hierarchies become possible. Phase 3 is hierarchy solidification. Stars ignite and galaxies weave into a web, not by inflating space, but by rewriting the tension budget. More and more of the sea's available tension gets tied up inside stable rings, atoms, dense objects, and long-lived networks. The freely mixing, fast exchange part of the sea shrinks. Sharp gradients get sanded down. The average sea state drifts looser over time. In other words, a global tension decrease does not need geometric expansion as the only explanation. It can emerge as a long-term relaxation driven by structure formation itself. And once the sea relaxes, 3 linked rewrites happen together. First, particles must self-stabilize. If the background sea state changes, a ring's internal tightness distribution that keeps it stable must adjust slightly, or it won't persist. Energy gaps and internal rhythms drift because only the patterns that fit the new sea conditions survive. It's almost Darwinian. The sea selects the versions of structures that can stand on that stage. Second, light's relay condition changes. In this picture, the speed limit is the sea's maximum handoff rate, how fast one patch can pass a beat to the next. If sea conditions drift, the true local relay ceiling can drift too. Third, our clocks and rulers are built from particle rhythms, so the yardsticks themselves participate in evolution. That means when you use today's second and today's meter to read the deep past, you are always doing a cross-arrow ratio comparison, not opening a timeless window. This is why redshift, time dilation, and CMB cooling can be placed on one single spine. Redshift becomes, first, a slower source rhythm, a different factory beat at emissions. Distant earlier matter runs on that beat. And when you compare it to today's faster beat, the same spectral lines read as shifted red. Time dilation becomes the same thing. Processes over there unfold on their local rhythms. And when counted with our current seconds, they look stretched. The CMB stops being forced into pure geometric stretching as the only story. The black buddy floor can be produced by early violent mixing that blackens noise into a universal spectrum, then frozen as mixing weakens, while later relaxation and evolving yardsticks shaped how we read its effective temperature history today. The punchline is simple. If one relaxation timeline can hold redshift, apparent time stretching, and the background radiation together, then geometric expansion is no longer the only narrative. It becomes one fitting language among others, not the universe's mandatory engine. Next episode we push this to the edge case. If the sea keeps relaxing, what happens at the boundaries of the responsive universe? And what signatures would appear where the relay itself begins to fail? Tap follow, share it on New Physics, Clear Universe.